Hey there, mini wargamers. All right, so I was at the dollar store for some reason. I can't remember what I was shopping for, but I came out with crafting goods, and I did not intend that, but this was just too obvious. So we purchased these very expensive Epic Warpath buildings. These are the modern office set from the dollar store. No, but you can see, look, like you'll be able to fit 6 guys with a little bit of room here. Heck, you might even be able to fit 8. But I think 6, a full troop can occupy this building. I like the buildings a little bit bigger, so they're more playable. They also have greater game effect. I bought 2 of these. And this one box here, which just I'm playing with it in the store, I'm like, that's a great little footing like this. So now you get 6 on the top here, and you could call it 3 or more here at this bottom section. So you can really be, occupying some buildings. You know what I'm saying? And together, this looks like it's kind of got a sort of a complex feel. See? Not that it has a complex, but that it is a complex. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying. To dress it up a little bit more, I got these woodsy sticks. I think I'm probably gonna do a little vertical breakup like this, and I may even come around the edge and give the roof a little slight little edge like that. Here we go crafting. I'm just winging it, trying to feel my way through this. It turned out to be 5 hours total time without all the drawing involved. And I'm just cutting the sticks to length. Gonna use some super glue to glue them down. I'm not really measuring much of anything in this project except for one step, which you will see. And, just using what's there to get the measurements and mark and cut. Here I'm going to, oh, please wear eye protection. Yes, I should flash that up on the screen. I'm just going to sand these to get these to drop down in place. And, with the other rails lightly tacked on the roof, you'd be tempted to use pressure to force that into place. If you do, you're going to snap the rails right off. So just sand it until it slides down perfectly in there. And yes, second verse is same as the first until you get all the way around your roof and it looks beautiful like that. Yay. So yeah, we're starting to buildingify this. And I decided to add the little woodsy sticks on the ends instead of the facings there, and just super glue. And now I'm going to reinforce everything with PVA. So I'm going to go around the roof junctions, and that will help really seal it, slurp it up in there, and make it durable. Also going to do that on the side details as well. And then we're going for a classic black prime. And, where the PVA is, it always looks a little slicker. Don't worry about that because we're base coating in craft paint gray. Cheap, cheerful, there it is. And if you don't get it all over yourself, you're not doing it right. Then for some roof jewelry, I have this tiny terrain stuff. I think it was originally made for Legion. It's off a mini market, and also a bit of a thick water bottle straw. Just gluing those on top. Also have this beading kind of cord and some micro pipettes, which I don't end up using. They're medical supply stuff. But with the kind of gel cord, I'm just gonna put that down into a shape coming off of the roof detail, and again use my super glue to weld it down. I ran out of super glue, which gave me a super glue top, which I will thank you very much, crafting gods. Why, yes, I will right there. Just use that. And yeah, I'm running a few clamps here to just kind of hold things in place. And I think I'm going to curve things around and glue them down just to give a little interest. Just something else happening on the building. Now here I have this toothpick with a little lathed in detail at the top. We're just going to fill the top of that super glue cap with some sticky cack glue and get that to stick upright like an antenna. There we go. And you may be wondering, hey, how come you primed it and then did all this detail work? Well, stuff happens. Again, I'm just winging it. I've got this kind of foam sheet stuff. I was going to try and do this out of cardboard, but I think this is going to work better. I can actually detail it with pencil. So it's just going to give me some doors. Zero measuring, just cutting it by eyeball. And here, actually, I do end up using a little bit of that pipette thing to add a little detail and another little thing. So it looks like a little junction box down at the bottom there. Yeah, and here's what our buildings are starting to look like, kind of come into shape. All right, let's get some more painting going here. I've got a kind of a yellowish here, and we're just gonna stipple on like a demon. So like a sandy muted yellow. Then I've got a chalkboard paint, which I guess you can write chalk on. I don't know. I thought this was gonna give me more of a texture. No, it really doesn't. I thought I would apply it roughly to the roof, and I don't really like a dark looking roof. So we're gonna change that later, but for now, that's as it is. I get a little darker gray here and stipple, 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 stipple. If you like stippling, this is the project for you, because we're going after kind of a concrete look on our building, and the only way to get that is to really just like, you know, paint lots of different shades of stuff. Here's some brown mixed in with a gray to give us a warmer gray, and stippling that in place. And you know, doing it quickly and having a little bit wet, getting almost a wet blend on it is effective too. And then I mix a middleweight gray up with just what we initially put down as a base coat, and paint in all the details, all the roof rails and things. And here's me getting rid of the dark roof for a lighter roof, then some metallics on our roof jewelry, PVA glue onto our lighter roof, and then this is just magical. I use this Woodland Scenics Fine Ballast in gray to add it like it's a textured roof. And yeah, again, like the trick to good buildings, I think, is just focus on that roof. Good roof details really, really help. So yeah, I'm just kind of roughing things up and making things not so perfect. Like there's some bald patches in there where things got applied. Then to seal it all in, I've got like a 60-40, 70-30 PVA to water mix. I'm just dabbling it all down in there as heavy as it can go. And I'm gonna let that dry. And it just so happens to be raining in California at this time, so it takes 97 hours for this to dry, which is why this video is late. But eventually it gets all sealed in there, and I am sufficiently happy with the results, because this stuff ain't moving anywhere now. And then it's time for a wash. What type of a wash? I don't know. It's a cheap, I think it's a Vallejo brand wash of some sort, and it's just a shade. I apply it all over the metallics and then unevenly on the roof to give, you know, the appearance of more weathering and things like that. I think I could keep going with the weathering with where I got to with these buildings, but you'll see the end result I'm pretty happy with overall with where I got it to. Here I'm actually going to measure 10 millimeters, giving me a centimeter. I'm going to mark out in centimeter lines, and I'm going to just tape this off with painter's tape, and we are going to paint on our windows. They're a little cartoony in look, but at arm's length, I think they work just fine. We're going to use some ultramarine blue and magic blue from Game Color, and this is how we do it. This will never be a painting channel, yes, but this is how I paint these windows. So starting with the ultramarine blue, oh, one other color I forgot. Yeah, there's a white here. It looks like a lavendery white. It's not going to matter that it's got any of that lavender in it. But yeah, start with the ultramarine blue raw. Don't thin it down, and just dapple it on. And you wanted to paint this relatively fast. So see, I have two marked out here. Just going to go bang, bang, back and forth. Then taking the magic blue and just wet blend streak in whatever direction you choose. I went from top right to bottom left in a diagonal here, and just streaking that magic blue across. All right. And next, we're going to take the magic blue and a little bit of our white, and we're going to get a lighter magic blue tone. And we're going to repeat the same process, right, with the streaks. The streaks are beautiful. They're our faux cartoony look window. Now, I could get a thinner brush and be much more precise with this. Then you could paint some other, glare. You could even do some kind of non-metallic metal, sort of like chromed look on the windows as well. I'm just going fast to where I'm going to be happy with this. Now I'm getting almost up to the purest white I can get, but I didn't rinse my brush cleanly. Again, like these These are just a little too thick. I probably really should have switched down to a smaller brush here. So yeah, if I was going to do it over, thinner brush to do those lines a little bit better. But what you can do if you get like those really thick, broad lines I just got there, just go back in with your magic blue or your ultramarine, and it will all blend out together in the end as the paint dries and optics do their thing. So yes. And here we go with the big reveal. I recommend removing the painter's tape when things are still a little bit wet as well too. You'll get better results, so you won't get any peeling or things like that. And that's what this top section of our bigger building is going to look like. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, you see I put a cheeky little detail window in there as well. And the final step, I'm just taking pencil and marking the edges to get a little bit more of definition, kind of pop on the edge there, which I quite liked. And here they are, my modern sci-fi office complex from the dollar store for under $4. Oh yeah, I put a little details on the doors there too. But you can see, I mean, yeah, are they the most beautiful building I'm gonna put down on the table? No. Are they extremely playable and very gameable? Yes. You can put a heck of a lot of troops on the roof, very easy, a good line of sight blocker, and I really like them for unique, having the crafting project, doing what they do. You know, nobody's gonna have buildings like these. So, and yeah, they're modular too. I can make a skyscraper like this. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider tossing me a like, a comment, or maybe even subscribing. I've got more Epic Warpath and other miniature wargaming goodness on the way. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.